I think one thing certain that's going to change this year is the running back position. And I think Kellen Moore with this West Coast type offense, straight out of Boise State is going to be entirely different than what we've seen for a while. The underutilization of running backs in Philadelphia that could do so much more, and the Eagles just never stick with the run at times. And we're going to be talking about all of that. So let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So I want to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. A couple things to go over here, okay? Because we're going to go over the running back position. But I think the one thing that I think has pissed us all off when it comes to the running game, whether it's running backs not really getting their chance to play, to get snaps, whether it's the substitution of running backs to make plays to make your offense look very predictable. And when the run works, you stray away from it. And how many running backs in Philadelphia, between Jordan Howard, running backs like DeAndre Swift we had last year, that just utilization just never underutilized, not to their full potential of what they could do, and only used in one way, only for one specific play or one formation. Like, the creativity from Kellen Moore is going to be absolutely insane, because DeAndre Swift could have been probably the second best back in the league last year. I mean, second to last game of the season, he only hit 1,000 yards. He just hit 1,000 yards. Second to last game of the season, which is atrocious. Could have done so much more. Doing things in training camp that these running backs don't even do in game. How many times we see DeAndre Swift last year in the passing game? They're throwing the ball to him so many times. He was working with the receivers how many times during training camp, and then they slowly, barely even throw the ball to him, even get him in the passing game, line him up as a receiver, line him out wide, do different things with him. Their creativity is just wasn't there. But with Kellen Moore coming in, every running back is going to be a receiving back, not necessarily going to be treated as a dual threat. But obviously what you have here, and obviously paying Saquon Barkley $12 million a year, sure, that's, you have a 3-down back right here. And I'm telling you right now, going into this season, if Kellen Moore is passing the ball too much, if it's like 32 passes to 40-something passes and they're straying away from the run, I feel like this offense really needs to run through Saquon Barkley if things are in trouble. Okay, regardless, I think the offense should run through him because it takes pressure off your quarterback. We need Jalen Hurts' speed this year. I think what's killed us with this quarterback even last year, and how they were making this play sheet for the season in 23, was, Jalen Hurts getting hurt. I mean, no pun intended, but he ended up getting hit in his knee so many times. He had that knee injury, which took away that third part of our offense, which was Jalen Hurts' speed. Still had some speed, but it wasn't. We've seen Jalen Hurts a lot faster than that. And having that back is going to be huge for this team, huge for this offense. Having Saquon in the backfield is going to put another defender in the back, another defender in the box, which could build a weakness to big plays from these wide receivers if they go play action, read option, whatever the case may be. So as these running backs for a whole coming into Philadelphia this year, I just don't want any opportunities missed. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep 4 running backs in this room. Okay. Saquon Barkley, we know what he could do. And when things go down, if things are in trouble in our passing game, we have to start running the football a lot and drive it down their throats. Pause. Because I'm sorry, but there's way too many times last year. I understand this is a new coaching staff, and I want to mention last year too much, but it honestly pisses me off when we don't utilize players to their full potential. I feel like half of these guys jump into games and they're not even tired when they leave the game, because they're barely used and they're subbed out at the wrong time. If DeAndre Swift gets a big play, it flows the juice of that offense. When DeAndre Swift jumps over somebody and does all this, gets a huge first down, take him out of the game. I mean, you can't do that. Second and short, third and short. Now, I know we're going to do the brotherly shove. I know things are going to happen. If the Eagles get the ball on the 1-yard line, it's going to be an automatic touchdown for Jalen Hurts. So Saquon has to run that shit in. We all know that. But I'm excited about Will Shipley. Okay, because as much at Clemson, he had some issues with fumbles, he had some issues with drops, but Will Shipley was a Red Star player for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think they had five Red Star players this year, and Will Shipley I think could be and turn into that dual threat back the Eagles want. I think fits what Kellen Moore wants. And I can't wait to see that he is used in the passing game, and they can line up a couple running backs in the backfield. I'm excited to see what Kellen Moore has in store for this offense. Doug Newsomeyer, whatever his name is, the quarterback coach, and I can't wait to see from the running game to the connection from quarterback to receiver to the passing game. I think Kellen Moore and Newsomer, whatever his name is, are going to do a fantastic job with this offense. They've been together for a long time. Will Shipley, one of my favorite picks from this draft. He's got that burst of speed. He's got really good vision. I think his vision's going to take him really far. And after the catch, he's fantastic. Or when he catches the football, that smooth motion with his full body movement is fantastic and makes guys miss. And I think it's everything you want. I think we'll just get better as the time goes on because realistically, Kenneth Gainwell is only here for one more year. This is a contract year for Kenneth Gainwell. I don't see them re-signing him. I think they brought in Kenneth Gainwell, I don't think fits the mold as a receiving back or a dual threat because I'm sorry, but last year they were using Kenneth Gainwell. They were using Kenneth Gainwell more like a dual threat back than they were DeAndre Swift. It just got me a little confused on why Kenneth Gainwell just has had more opportunity. I'm not saying he's a bad back. And I don't think his protection is as great as everyone says it is because it's not. So he has a contract year this year. We'll see what happens to him, but I don't see him being a Philadelphia Eagle after this year. Will Shipley will take that number 2 spot. And Gainwell is an average back with, he doesn't have a certain skill set that makes you a running skill set that makes you go, oh my God, he makes guys miss. Like he's a good running back, solid running back, and a really good rotation. But as the focal point or treated like that, that's been one of our biggest mistakes, using him way too much where we have better talent in the backfield. Okay. You can even go a little bit further. I mean, how many bruiser backs have we had in this backfield and barely used them? I mean, what the hell why did they sign Rashad Penny last year? I mean, it just made no sense. I know his pass protection's god awful, but man, a red zone threat would have been fantastic. Tire out defenses, use a bruiser back as a finisher, tire out those defensive lines, make those defenses, be on their toes a little bit, but they just don't do it, and I don't know why. Between guys like Elijah Holyfield, that always had good training camps with the Eagles, never really did anything, never really was given a shot. A couple other guys, Josh Adams, maybe another guy, obviously, that we've had the last couple years. I forgot his name. But unfortunately, there's just been no opportunities. We really haven't had a bruiser back since LeGarrette Blount. I'm not saying they're going to carry 4 running backs, but Kendall Moore is another guy from Georgia that they really liked. I actually really like him because he's more of a north-south runner, but he's got this little burst of speed that everybody's talking about during OTAs and minicamp, and could drag some guys for some extra yards on top of physicality with his body, so he can get some extra yards that way. And I don't really think of him as an east and west runner or to get him in the passing game because I don't think in Georgia he was really a receiving back too much. But the Eagles are trying to do something with him, and he's probably one of the most exciting players on this team right now that I'm really excited for going forward. So I think there's a lot to really look forward to in this running back position, and I don't know what other guys are in the building running back wise that I'm really paying too much attention to, but I'm pretty excited for it. But at the end of the day, you can't mess this up. I mean, you really can't, because Saquon Barkley is obviously the one that's getting paid the most and have to use him the most in any way, because we've seen what he's done with the Giants in the receiving game. What Saquon Barkley's done as a receiving back is fantastic. But when you actually have an actual quarterback that can throw the ball in stride, when you actually have an offensive line with protection, I'm excited for Saquon Barkley to hit over 1,300 yards this year. Okay, I'm talking rushing. I ain't talking, receiving. I could see him getting like maybe 600 yards this year, maybe 500, something like that. We'll see, because you have to distribute the ball a little bit. He's going to get the ton of the big time carries. He'll get most of the load, per se. But I'm pretty pumped about it. But I want to know from you guys how you feel about the running back position. Do you think running backs have been not utilized in Philadelphia the right way? And I hope you agree, because I honestly don't think they have. We know we've had issues where we want the Eagles to run the ball a lot more, and they just don't do it. And I think you have a nice, diverse type of backs when it comes to their skill sets, and it's very exciting. And it's awesome. And Will Shipley's one of my favorite picks of this draft. Kenneth Gainwell has something, as a contract year, something to prove. I don't think Kenneth Gainwell is going to start for another team. I don't know how many running backs leave Philadelphia. These guys that are really a lot of these running backs that come through Philadelphia now. Miles Sanders, Josh Adams, a few of these other guys that we've seen, are not getting their opportunities. They're not starting running backs for other teams because this offensive line obviously carries the load for makes these running backs look a lot better than they are. We all know this. But when you actually get a talent at running back, an actual talent like Saquon Barkley and what he could do behind this line, it's a shame Jason Kelsey's not back for one more year, because, man, it would have been even better. But I feel really good about Cam Jurgens at center and this right guard competition coming up. So I'm not worried about that at all. But it would have been awesome for Kelsey to go out with Saquon, as a running back right behind. Would have been great. So let me know what you guys think about the situation in general. Kendall Moore from Georgia, do you think he has a chance to make some noise? And what do you think the rotation is going to be like? Is Kenneth Gainwell will be the number 2 back? How do you think it's going to go? Who do you think Kellen Moore is going to use a lot of besides Saquon? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you check out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. If you guys have not, we have a lot of different merch coming out in the coming days. And a big release before the season starts, so definitely check that out. We have women's t-shirts now. We have youth t-shirts now. So we have every size for everything up to 6XL. A lot coming up. A lot more designs are coming, so definitely stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.